Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They getting it in. Sports center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening. If you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater. You better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Let me talk to you.
Nice. I'm glad you put that in. Welcome to episode 117 of Sports on Tap Detroit, our 2023 NFL preview show. I am Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell and special guest, Mr. Eric Anderson. Fellas, how are we doing?
Doing good. Doing real good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to have you on, Eric.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thank
showing
you
up
guys for having me. Appreciate it.
For the kickoff NFL show.
Yes.
Figured we could use an extra person to do some picks.
So he just does the big shows. He did the draft show with us.
Yeah.
And then he does the NFL preview show.
He's like the swinging dick. He just comes in for the big shows. That's it.
So the next one he does the Super Bowl show, and then he does the Pro Bowl. Maybe who knows?
The Pro Bowl.
Come on, damn, that's getting demoted.
The Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl show. Yeah, if we ever do a Pro Bowl show, just kill me.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's
I wanted to let everybody know we do have a new number. There was an issue with the number, and actually Steve Waddell from Baldman Entertainment found it and found it out for us. So we have a new phone number. It's 313-744-6119. If you want to give us a call or a text during the shows, feel free. We'll get you on. We'll read what you have to say.
Yes, especially during this show. We'd love to answer if you have any fantasy questions or just kind of takes or whatever about this upcoming season. That'd be great. Fire your questions at us, and we'll do our best to get you an answer.
We'll do our best to give you wrong answers.
Yeah, because that's generally what we do around here is we give wrong answers.
Best uneducated answer possible.
So with that said, I mean, honestly, boys, let's just hop into it. I mean, we got the season starting in a week on Thursday night with the Lions taking on the Chiefs.
Yep.
We were talking before the show, and Eric brought it up since he is the resident Lions fan here. He asked, he goes, is SOL dead? And me and Joe are both in agreement, and I think you are as well.
Yep.
That no, it's not dead.
Yep.
It's not dead until the Lions prove that it's dead.
There has to be something happen.
Yes.
So I'm not going to bash the Lions on this one. Are they headed in the right direction? It seems like it.
Do
they have a lot going for them?
Vegas seems to think they're headed in the right direction.
Do they have a lot going for them? Yes, they absolutely do. But is SOL dead? No.
You can't just say because now you have one of the marquee games of the season and like all the preseason hype, which it's fairly deserved, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can't just say
I agree.
The season gave him that, but.
And it did, but you can't. Even with all that being said, you can't just say, "All right, SOL's dead," because that's just lunacy. I mean, you got to prove it on the field and actually live up to the hype. If you live up to the hype and you win this division, which is it's there for the taking. This division is gift wrapped for the Detroit Lions this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, listen. So if you want to look at the division, talk about it being gift wrapped. You have Minnesota, who lost some players on defense, lost part of their offense.
A horrible defense at that.
Yeah, it was not a good defense. And then you still have Kirk Cousins there, who is prone to make mistakes, right? And then in Green Bay, you have Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, moving on to the Jets, and you have Jordan Love, unproven guy, coming in he's the starter. He's unchallenged for that starter role, and he hasn't looked great in his limited time. So you've got a team there that you can possibly take advantage of, and then Chicago, who is more on the upswing, but again, they're not a proven team. Detroit's farther ahead than Chicago is in their rebuild
By far.
So Detroit has this division to quote somebody who passed away this week. They've got the whole division in their hands.
They certainly do. And again, and honestly, I feel the only
little
way.
Shout out to Bray Wyatt there.
Yes. Rest in peace, Bray.
Yes.
But I feel that's really the only way to officially kill SOL is win the division. I don't even think just making the playoffs does it. I think you got to win the division.
Okay, so for me, it's if you make the playoffs, you got to win a playoff game.
Fair.
You have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, and even if it's win division, okay, that's taking a step. But to me, you got to win a playoff game.
Okay.
I think that is the biggest step for me to say SOL is dead. Is even if they win the division, at this point, everyone's saying they need to win the division.
Yeah.
You need to. You've made the playoffs before. You haven't won the division since God knows when. But to me, it's not just as simple as that. I do think they have to win a playoff game. Now, for every single person, it's going to be different what you think kills SOL, right? I mean, we're all different. For me, I truly believe it has to be winning a playoff game. That will cement SOL is dead. You win a playoff game.
You have to get that 30-year camo off your back.
Absolutely.
If you don't, we're not having a different conversation.
Yeah.
There's no conversation to be had.
No, because it's
wholeheartedly
it's still the same thing. It's still you're the Lions. This is what you do.
Yeah, because again, they've made the playoffs before. So if they win the division and make the playoffs, okay, great. You finally won the division for the first time in forever. It went in a year where your division is actually pretty weak
Yeah.
by all accounts going into the season. Now we'll see. NFL can throw some curveballs at you, right? There's teams that can be better than you really fucking thought they were going to be, right? But by all accounts, this is a weak division.
Yes.
So the Lions are
Big time.
The Lions
Big time
are chalked in to win this division by pretty much fucking everyone. Correct?
Yeah.
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 So at that point in time, is SOL dead if you win the division when you were
No.
supposed to do it?
No.
No, you got to win a playoff game still. That's to
No,
me. That's
but-
to me. That's the do
But
it.
at the same time, this is a first time in a long time that the Lions have supposed to have done something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
first
I
time
mean, do
probably
you remember any time there was this much hype
10
around the
year-
Lions?
No.
2011.
Maybe, yeah. But it's still, like, I mean,
This
that's,
much?
It was a lot.
Enough to sell out Ford Field?
Oh, yeah, to get, like, literally all the season tickets.
This is the
Well, they
first
sold
time.
out. All the season tickets are sold out. There's a wait list now.
So
No, I think
it's
this is
been
the-
open since what? 2000, 2001.
Yeah, I think 2001. I believe. I think this is the most hyped I've ever seen
Yeah.
the Lions. So
It's as much as I can remember that
Yeah.
franchise being hyped. But
yeah,
but there lies the thing is, how do they react to this? How do they react to being they're not the hunters anymore? They are technically like the hunted now with all the hype. They're going to have a target on their back.
I think that's the key.
Yeah.
You know,
I really do. I think that's the key to seeing. Listen, what was Mike Tyson's phrase?
everybody has a plan
Until you get punched in
in
the mouth.
Yeah.
Until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
So you're pegged to win the division. Let's see what happens when you get punched in the face.
Yep.
And the teams that are real teams in the NFL, when they get punched in the face, they punch back. And they don't let bad calls beat them. They don't let
Yeah.
They don't let those things happen. Because, again, I'm going to tell this to everybody, and I know Lions fans don't like to hear it, and actually fans of every team don't like to hear it. I hear it from Browns fans as well. Bad calls shouldn't beat you. Bad calls happen in every game.
Yep.
If that's what you're hanging your head on as to why you haven't won a championship in forever, or why you haven't won the division in forever, or why you haven't won a playoff game, you're hanging your head on something that's wrong. Because good teams find a way to overcome those bad calls. Bad teams make excuses for those bad calls being the reason why they can't win. Period.
That is true. Factually accurate. Now, with all that being said, we got the Lions stuff kind of out of the way, and we'll get to them later once we get into their division. But
Yep.
you guys want to start with AFC or NFC?
Let's start off with the AFC.
Start off with the AFC. All right. Go east to west. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do we even have to preview the AFC South? Because frankly, I don't give a fuck about that division. I think it's going to be the worst division in football.
Let's just go over it though.
All right. Let's do it then.
It could be a quick one.
Yes. All right. Let's go with. Let's start off in the AFC East. This is going to be arguably the best division in football. I think this and the AFC North are going to be 1 and 2. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of them as far as toughest division. But then again, we said that about the AFC West last year, and that division turned out to be an absolute disaster. For the most part.
Yes.
Except
I think every division is taking a little bit of a step up this year. I think there's going to be more competition.
Especially in the AFC, because the AFC is loaded.
It really is.
It's
I mean,
loaded,
I think
man.
I think the AFC South is a one-team race.
Yes,
obviously,
I do
but
as well, yes.
we'll get to that.
We will get to that. But starting with the AFC East, you have Buffalo, Miami, and the Jets all vying for the division championship. Everybody's gunning for the Bills, 3-time defending AFC East champions. I'm not going to put New England in there because I think the run is over. I do. I don't care if they got Bill O'Brien. I don't care if they finally have a competent offensive coordinator. It makes no difference to me. The team's just they're not on par with any of those three teams. Above
No. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be they're going to be a horrible team, but they're just
No.
not going to compete for that division.
They're not. I think Mac Jones is going to be better.
They did just sign Zeke too, but I mean, just throwing that in there.
Great. The corpse of Zeke Elliott. But like I said, I don't see them competing with the three teams above them.
No.
Like I said, even though you have a competent offensive coordinator, yes, do I think Mac Jones will be better this year? I do. Because, frankly, I don't think he could be much worse than he was last year.
No, he had a sophomore slump. So his rookie year was really good. Right? He looked really good. And then sophomore slump. Let's see what we really have with Mac Jones this year, and I think that's the way that New England's looking at it too. They're looking at it. Let's see who we have here.
Yeah.
We basically have somebody that it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We don't know who we have. Let's see what happens.
But I will say this about the Patriots. Say they miss the playoffs again, which I think they're going to. Is this it for Belichick in New England?
I mean, I thought it was going to be it for him already.
Right.
I thought once Brady moved on, I thought it would be a year or two, and I thought he'd be done.
But this is year, 4 since Brady's left?
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the dude just wants to die on the field at some point.
Yeah.
To me, it seems like
Kraft to let him.
You can be done, man. Like, you're
See,
done.
I don't know if Kraft will let him because you hear all the stories about the friction between them, between Belichick and Robert Kraft. And I think Kraft's trying to do the right thing by kind of letting him dictate how he wants to go out. But at some point, you got to start winning again.
He wants him to dictate. He's letting him dictate how he wants to go out. But at a certain point, the end all is that you're going out.
Yeah.
At some point,
right?
Like it isn't just an open-ended book that you can keep writing your story in. Like there's got to be an end here, man.
There has to be, and this is the thing about, especially where the Patriots play. They play in Foxborough. There's nothing in Foxborough except the Patriots. If the Patriots are terrible, nobody's going to drive out there.
Nope.
To go see that.
Nothing there.
No. So at some point, again, I wouldn't be surprised if it was after the season when the Patriots don't make the playoffs. If it's kind of like if Robert Kraft kind of does that, like kind of nudge, like not fire you, but kind of that resign thing.
Hey, we gotta mutually parting ways.
Mutually parted ways, whatever. I think this could be the season that actually happens. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. So
I think it depends on how the season goes, but I think you very well could be correct on that one.
Yeah.
Now getting to the teams above them in the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins.
This is going to be a dogfight.
I think it is going to be a dogfight. I really do. Looking at it, I guess obviously you got Buffalo with defending their division titles.
Still haven't upgraded that running back room.
Still have not upgraded the running back room. The offensive line is still very much a question mark. Their defense is going to be better. If again, we're predicating this all on health. If everybody stays healthy, then their defense is going to be arguably elite. If their defense stays healthy, Von Miller is going to be out for the first 4 games because he's still on the PUP list. But I think getting Poyer back and those guys, I think their defense is going to be just fine. Again, if they stay healthy.
Right.
And then, so if they stay healthy, I think they do have the best team in the division. But then you got to look at the Dolphins. And again, the Dolphins for me, it's simple. It comes down to Tua. It does. It comes down.
Oh, absolutely.
It comes down to Tua. If Tua stays healthy, then frankly, I think they're going to win that division. I do. I think they have the team to do it.
I'm with you there, and I'm surprised. You're on that path too. Yeah, I believe if Tua stays healthy,
And I'm not a Tua guy,
no, I know,
but he's serviceable enough that
I think he's more than serviceable. I believe what has hindered him has been the concussions at this point, and you can't look past that.
you can't.
But I think he's put to rest the leg injury issues that everyone questioned about when he was being drafted. Like, oh, he has a hip injury. We don't draft like that. That's why a lot of people didn't want him drafted for their team. It was the hip injury, the leg injuries. I think he's put that to rest. But the concussions are a major concern. If he can, and he's gone to martial arts classes to learn how to fall better, to learn how to fall without hitting his head, smacking his head down. When you fall, roll. And that's really, honestly, I give the guy credit for actually trying to look into this and trying to do something to better, better himself in how to fall without smacking his head on the ground, or at least some way to prolong his career because, he took that extra step to take these martial arts classes to learn how to fall and roll, to not just take blunt force trauma to your head when you fall. Yeah, I think it's his health is the biggest thing, but I think he's way more than serviceable. I think he has a better arm than people gave him credit for, and I think with those weapons on that team, they're the division winner as long as they stay healthy. And I love Buffalo. I be honest with you, I'm questioning my biggest the person who I'm the biggest fan of on Buffalo. I'm questioning Josh Allen at this point.
He needs to take that next step.
He has to.
This is the year he's got to do it.
He has to.
This is the year he's got to stop forcing stuff.
There's too many mistakes.
Stop with the hero ball.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
Too many mistakes,
in
key situations.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to make that growth.
Yes.
You have to take that step.
At a certain point, just take what the defense gives you, and if you don't get that first down or whatever, you don't get that touch. Who cares? Just don't throw that killer interception or make that killer fumble. Just don't do it. Live to fight another set of downs. You're fine. You don't need to play hero ball. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm with you 100% on that with Josh Allen with the Bills.
The other team in that division, the Jets, which will be competitive.
I think that's the biggest storyline going into the NFL season. Yeah, is the Jets.
So and the biggest thing is, and Chris, you hit on it our last show, and I was giving that offensive line credit for going to get better, right? But in watching the preseason, they haven't taken a step towards being better, and they weren't great last year, and I think that will be their Achilles heel. I think that will be why they won't win this division. They will compete. Aaron Rodgers is great at getting rid of the football fast, right? He's great at making those reads. And listen, like him or not, he makes some incredible throws. He made a throw this last weekend to Garrett Wilson that I don't know how he put the ball where he put it. I mean, it literally, you couldn't have put the guy was covered. It looked as if Aaron Rodgers couldn't have walked over and handed the ball to him any better than that throw that he made as he was backing away while he was running away from the defense running at him, and he just flicked it. It was just a flick of the wrist. And it was perfect. It was a perfect fucking pass. Him and Garrett Wilson are going to have a huge year together. But I believe that offensive line will be their downfall. I don't think they've taken steps forward as much as I would have thought they would have, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Chris, what do you guys say on that one? I mean, what?
No, I think you nailed it with the Jets, especially. That's the thing. It's their offensive line, and as you said, I talked about it last show we did. Is that the offensive line it's not very good.
No,
it's not. No. And you got a 40-year-old quarterback back there that doesn't move like he used to be able to move.
No, I mean he's good at stepping aside,
right,
stepping up.
Yep.
But as far as being able to run. No, that's not him anymore. And he can back away and flip pass it like he did this last weekend, it was a perfect pass. But that lasts so long, and you can only do that so many times.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't necessarily know how much of an upgrade or help that Dalvin Cook is to that offense. I don't really think it does much.
I think he's early season help while Breece recovers more. Right. I believe it's Breece's show once he's healthy. Once he's 100%. But once Breece is 100%, it's his show. That's his team. I love Dalvin Cook, but listen, running backs have a very short shelf life.
Yes, they do.
And he's nearing that shelf life. He's had injuries. He's had shoulder injuries. He's had knee injuries. The running back position takes a beating. And I think right now Dalvin Cook will help them in the interim, in the short term, in the early part of the season. And if we're going to talk fantasy, he might help you in your first 4 weeks or so. Right, but after that, after Breece is looking 100% and feeling 100%, recovered from that knee injury, it's Breece's team. It's Breece's show.
Right.
And Dalvin's going to be the spell guy. He's going to be the guy to come in and spell Breece.
I have a feeling they're going to have to rely heavily on that defense, though. That defense is going to be really fucking good.
Okay, so the defense is going to be great.
The defense is going to be really good.
The key to them is, and they're going to pull out some victories that are low scorers, right?
Yep.
They're going to pull out some games where they beat teams, 13-10, or 10-7 maybe, because that defense is really fucking good, and they're going to be able to score enough points, but they're not going to be able to outpace teams with that bad offensive line.
No, certainly not.
The more plays your offense is out there for, the more times your offensive line can get beat.
And that's another reason why I question the Dalvin Cook thing and hell, even the Breece Hall thing. It's because again, their offensive line sucks. It's not good.
And see, I think Breece showed last year he can overcome that because he had some big runs last year. He looked great at the beginning of last year. Dalvin, I'm not sure he can do that at this point in his career. Right? He's going to fall forward for the yards, right? But I'm not sure he can make those misses in the backfield like Breece can at this point. So once Breece is healthy, it's his team. Dalvin is just here to get him to that point, really.
Right. Anything else on the AFC East? No? All right. Move on to the arguably the second best division in football, or the first, whichever you choose to look at it. The AFC North. Now, this division is incredibly intriguing to me because you have the class of the division in Cincinnati. You have Baltimore with Lamar re-signed, and now he actually has weapons to throw to, which is crazy. Pittsburgh just doesn't finish under 500 ever. They just don't. They're just there. They could be really good, or they're going to be mid. As the kids say. Mid.
That's the worst.
Mid. And then you got your Browns.
Yep.
So, to
Who,
me,
by all accounts, should be better than they were last year,
they
too.
should. But in that
We'll see.
division, that's the most interesting storyline to me is the Browns and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Does he come back to even a semblance of what he was in Houston?
That's the key.
Because look at what he did last year when he came back. He was fucking terrible.
Oh,
last
he's
year.
garbage. I've said this. I've clearly said this. I said this last year. I said it after every game they played. And Browns fans wanted to go into, you give him some time, and he made a couple good throws, and there was excuses galore, same as the Lions do for their fucking players. Yep. But when it comes down to it, no, he was garbage last year. You're paying this guy $230 million guaranteed, and you traded away a bunch of fucking draft picks for this guy. He's got to play better than he did last year. He's got to be close. He's got to be close to what he was in Houston. He has to be. And if he's not, you failed. You completely failed as a franchise if he's not. And you're gonna fail if he's not, because you don't have the rest of the team to make up for that.
No.
Because you spent so much money on one fucking player.
Don't you love when
got rid of your draft picks.
Don't you love when teams do that?
All of them.
I love when other teams do that. I don't love when the team that I like does that.
Certainly not. I look at that division, and again, I see I'm curious to see what Baltimore looks like with a team that actually has weapons, and they don't have to rely on Lamar to just.
I
run
have
all
them.
over the place.
I have them winning the division.
I do too. As a matter of fact, I have them, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's how I have that division going.
I have Ravens, Bengals.
Because we still don't know about Joe Burrow.
That's true. That's another one that
we don't know.
That's a question mark right now. I believe he comes back and he's top 5 quarterback in the league again, and that's what I'm basing my decision off of. Now, if he's not fully healthy and there's something else wrong, then my rankings will not be correct, right? But I'm basing it off of a healthy Joe Burrow. It's going to be the Ravens, the Bengals, and then the Browns and the Steelers, I think, will be pretty much neck and neck. Although I will tell you, I believe Kenny Pickett is going to take a big step forward this year. He's going to be a lot better than he was last year.
He's looked great in preseason, but again, it's.
I mean, he's the highest rated quarterback in preseason.
He is, but it's hard to tell stuff in preseason. It just
the only what you got to look at in preseason. You can't look at stats in preseason really. Now he's the highest rated passer in preseason, but you have to look at decision making, right? You got to look at the quick decisions. Are they making the correct decisions? What reads are they making? Is he going through his progressions? Is he making the correct pass to the correct player at the correct time? All those kind of things that, not the stats. Stats for preseason mean nothing. You want to see how the players develop and play, right? And it's still kind of hard to do that because sometimes they're going against second and third stringers, depending on whether the team against them actually starts their guys or not. For some reason, teams don't start their ones against ones anymore in certain games. One team's starting their ones, the other one's starting their third stringers. Then the next game, the team that started their ones is starting their third stringers, and the other team's starting their ones.
Right.
Like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't make sense.
It's all about looking at, are players making progress? Are they making the right decisions? Are they making the right reads? Are they making the right cuts? And by all accounts, the guy he's looked really, really good in the preseason.
Now, going back to the AFC East really quick, who was your pick to win? It was Miami?
Yes. Yeah, Miami.
And Eric, who do you have winning that division? The AFC East.
I got the Bills.
Okay. I just want to write this down so we can we can actually go back and look at it.
I had that. I agree with that.
Had it. All right.
And I've got a whole slate of questions after
I
we
know
get
you
done
do.
with this.
I know
so.
you do. Yeah.
Although that slate of questions might have to wait till next week because after we preview all these teams, we might have to save my questions for next week. But Listen, there's a lot of football to go over, right? We got 2 weeks of shows before football starts. Let's do it all. Let's get it all out of the way.
No, I agree with you on that.
Football galore.
But yeah, going back to the AFC North again. That's going to be another division that they're going to beat each other up. They're going to kill each other.
They are.
It's going to be great.
And I believe Lamar takes a big step forward this year in passing. I actually think he's going to set a career high in passing grade this year. I think he's going to take that step forward that they need him to be the passer that they need him to.
If he doesn't do it this year,
he won't do it.
he won't do it. That's just who he is. Like, I'm sorry. Now you finally bitched and complained. You held out. You bitched and complained because you didn't have weapons, and I think that was a big part of it of why he held out.
Yes.
It wasn't just about the money. It was about he wanted people he could actually throw the ball to.
Right.
And now you have that. Again, I'm not very high on Odell, but
I'm not high on Odell either.
Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers is a very, very good receiver. Rashad Bateman is another year removed from that injury-plagued season. By all accounts, he's a very, very good receiver. Goes up and gets the ball at the highest point, comes back to the football, doesn't wait for it to come to him, gets in between the defender and the football, makes good cuts, runs good routes. So, I mean, he's got the best receiving core he's had there since he's been there. So.
Yes. Eric, you got anybody winning that division? Who you got winning that division?
Baltimore.
I think it's chalk with Baltimore. All right.
Everybody, eh?
I dig it. Nothing wrong with that. No, like I said, I'm looking forward to that division as well as the AFC East. Again, I think those teams are going to beat the daylights out of each other, and I think it's going to be fantastic.
And once again, as long as Lamar does not go down.
That is a big yes. Because I don't. Is Huntley still their backup?
I'd have to look. I have to look at depth charts. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not sure who their backup is, to be honest with you. I don't think it's Huntley though. It might be. I don't know, but honestly, I have no idea.
NFL depth charts. All 32 teams. Here we go. Hold on.
You got it?
Some dead air here.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry about that, guys.
Let's see. I got it right here. And QB. Where are we at? Tyler Huntley.
Okay.
Yep. Tyler
right.
Huntley. Still Huntley. So,
right.
yep. Still Huntley.
Let's moving on to the AFC South. This one should be pretty quick.
Moving on.
I think this should be pretty quick as to who's going to win this division. And just
What, AFC South?
yes,
Yeah.
this should be pretty quick.
Do you want it? All right. Do you want it? This is going to be called Jaguars talk. Because there's really nobody else to talk about.
Because they're real.
The other Jaguars for real?
They're for real.
I believe I said that. I believe I said that last year.
There's a couple different times.
Yes.
I believe I said they were for real
You
last
did,
year.
yes.
Quite a few times actually.
Yes.
I was the one consistent one apparently.
Yes.
Yes, certainly.
That's a yes.
Yes, Chris agrees.
Chris agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, this division is pretty simple for me. It's Jacksonville and everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that boils down to.
It's Jacksonville and it's the Jim Irsay's, who just they just like that dude. Why is he sabotaging his football team?
I don't know. I
Like
don't get it.
you just drafted what you consider to be your franchise quarterback and a guy who is a prototypical quarterback for the NFL now. He can run and pass, right?
Yep.
Got a huge arm, needs some refining, but listen, the guy is athletic. He's prototypical of what teams want right now. You just drafted him, and you're alienating your franchise running back who is still on his rookie deal. It's not like you had to pay him a ton of money. You're alienating him. Part of the reason is because you won't give him another deal, but you're completely alienating him. Instead of trying to smooth it over and say, listen, we'll negotiate later, we'll do. No, you're just like, fuck you. And then he asked for trade, and you're like, no, we're not going to trade you. All right, well, time out. Okay, fine. Well, you search out a trade, though. We're not going to do it. You search out a trade, and we'll trade you.
And then
What?
he did.
Like, what? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Don't you think you would want to take pressure off of your rookie franchise quarterback who you're going to start from day one with one of the best running backs in the league right now behind a very good offensive line? Anyway, that's just fucking stupid. So they're not going to win anything.
No.
You've got the Texans who are going to be another back alley abortion from hell.
But I think they're trending in the right
usual.
direction.
They're trending in a better direction than the Colts.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like I love the hiring of D'Amico Ryans.
Agreed.
I love that hiring.
Agreed. I love their draft this last year.
I love what they did with the draft too. So I think they are actually doing something like kind of like the Lions. They're trending in the right direction.
They're not quite where the Lions are
No,
at, but they're trending
they're,
upwards.
Yes, they're kind of following that lead.
And then you've got the Titans, who are middle ground, 8-8, gonna just kind of hang around and be there.
I think this is the year that the wheels fall off for Derrick Henry. I do.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong.
No, same.
I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong. I thought last year was gonna be the year, truthfully. But
I think this is going to be.
I think last year was the beginning of it.
yeah, I can't say you're wrong.
No, I don't.
I mean, if it doesn't happen, I would say
Like,
it's.
It's weird. I look at the the Titans. I think like mid. Like that's what they're.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. They're mid.
Yeah.
They're
They
middling.
are. They're
They're
mid.
they're 8-8. They're bleh. They're just they're there.
there,
They're a team. They're going to win half their games. They're going to lose half their games.
They're like the
gonna-
Minnesota Wild.
right?
And
They're-
yes, Allison, they do exist.
the Tennessee Titans
mid.
exist too. The only thing good about the Tennessee Titans this year is they're going to wear the Houston Oilers
Those are sweet
jerseys
Yes.
and uniforms. I fucking love those. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them in those jerseys.
We talked about that last show about the
Fuck,
kind
yes.
of the throwbacks they're bringing back. This
Can't
year,
wait
some
to
of
see
the
them in
teams.
those kits.
Oh, they're going to be kits. Let's go. I like it. So, Eric, I'm assuming you have Jacksonville winning that division as
Yes.
well? Okay.
Yes, I do.
And I just want to say this one: look out for Calvin Ridley this year. That dude is gonna ball out on that fucking team. And Trevor Lawrence. We'll get to bold predictions either later in this show or next week, but I'm gonna tell you that dude might compete for the MVP this year. Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, I agree with you. I would 100% agree with you on that.
That dude is.
He is him.
He's that dude.
He's that dude.
He's for real.
I've heard that somewhere. Not,
for real.
not sure who said it, but
He's for real.
he's for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. With that said, moving on to the AFC West.
I'm so glad I added that drop.
It's solid. I love that.
Yeah.
The AFC West. We've had some movement in that division. Derek Carr is no longer in that division.
Nope.
So
Jimmy G is
Jimmy
now.
G. So they moved from one mid quarterback to another. Yep. Okay, the one that's injury prone too.
They basically have the same quarterback just with a different name
Right, and
and a little bit less of an arm.
and he was injury prone.
Right. Like
great.
Derek Carr at least had a bigger arm.
Yes, that division is simple. It's still Kansas City's division.
Yep.
Like,
Oh God, yeah.
Brandon Staley is still the head coach of the fucking Chargers. That guy's an imbecile. So he'll lose them games like he does every year.
Despite the fact that I think Justin Herbert will take a step forward, that team's going to be pretty good.
Yes.
But their head coach will lose them games
Yes.
and will make bad decisions and will lead them into collapsing in some big leads.
That dude is a buffoon. Just flat out, he's a buffoon.
Yep. He is what we thought Nick Sirianni would be.
Yeah.
After that press conference, dude. Yeah,
So Nick Sirianni, like I bagged on him.
you did too.
Bad.
Can't remember how many times we watched.
Dude, that press
It
conference?
was so bad.
Oh,
it was so
we watched
bad.
it at work like a dozen times. I'm like, can you hear this guy's fucking
We're
rebuke?
gonna teach him a system, and they're gonna do it. Says everyone.
What are you fucking
ever.
retarded? Do you want me to be fucking retarded? Like, that's when I watched that. That's what I,
I
thought
know.
of.
That's- yeah.
Do you want me to be fucking retarded? Oh my god! Like seriously, that's what I thought of
But-
watching that press conference.
I thought for sure, but I mean, we were wrong. Nick Sirianni's actually turned out to be. He's not very good at talking to people, but apparently he's a good coach.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Eh, when-
Yeah.
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 When it comes down to it, though, like Staley is just he's that guy that is just kind of retarded.
He's holding
Yeah.
them back.
yeah.
That's a guy that's it's kind of what Dan Campbell did in the first couple of years with the Lions. He held them back from wins, especially in the beginning of last season. Like he lost you guys. So the Lions should have made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
But MCDC, fuck off, man.
Sorry. Holy shit.
But Brandon Staley continuously does this, and it's like, well, at some point, it's like maybe it's not the players you got. And yes, I know they blew the lead against Jacksonville in the playoffs. I don't think that's necessarily all Herbert's fault. I don't.
No.
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck
Exactly.
a doorknob.
And like so with that guy, it's kind of like, all right, I think they're just going to do kind of rinse and repeat with the Chargers. And then you move on to the Raiders. Again, I don't see anything special with the Raiders. You got a pissed off running back.
I mean, at least they finally signed the deal, though.
They did.
They got the deal done with him.
But I think
he's getting $12 million, I think, this year,
yeah,
which is about a $2 million upgrade from the franchise tag they wanted him to sign.
you got a pissed off running back, and I think you're about to have a pissed off wide receiver too.
Well, I mean, if I were him, I'd already be pissed
Yes.
off because Devontae Adams went there to play with Derek Carr.
Yeah. And then you traded or let him go, traded him, whatever.
Yeah. And then you just were like, well, fuck you, we're done with you.
And some of the decisions Mark Davis makes is
I just
like,
don't-
what are you doing?
Like the reason Devontae Adams was there was to play with his college teammate.
Yeah.
And the year after he gets there, you're like,
Nah.
yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of him, and we're going to get the same guy with a different name who doesn't have as big of an arm and gets hurt a lot to be your quarterback now. What do you think about that?
So
And
you might
Devontae
have
Adams-
to learn that guy in the corners.
Right. And Devontae Adams is like, well, I don't.
Nope, don't like that.
I don't like that.
no.
But yeah, it was just the best. Some of those decisions are just fucking stupid in my opinion.
Yes. Going to the Chiefs, is this the year they take a step back?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Travis Kelce's still going to be Travis Kelce.
But what other weapons do they have beside him?
Sky Moore is going to have over 1,000.
You think so?
yards. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll put money on it right now. Sky Moore will have over 1,000 yards receiving this year.
Okay.
Now that's not elite numbers, but for a guy that looked like he did last year,
Yeah.
I think another year in the system, another offseason in the system, he's elusive. He is.
They got to sign Chris Jones, though, man. Like, he's
They have to get that
huge
done.
for that defense. Like, you look at the stats with him and without him,
Yep.
it's night and day.
So they have to get that deal
Yeah.
done. But no, I think that offense is going to be very good. Kadarius Toney. Oh, I'm sorry,
Cadaverous Tony.
Cadaverous Tony.
Cadaverous, yes. Yes.
Listen, he stayed healthy.
I think he's hurt now, isn't he?
Is he? I don't think so.
I think he is.
Is
dude.
he?
I think he's hurt now.
But like when he's in the game, he actually made a difference for them. It's can he stay healthy and not be dead? Right? I mean, and that's kind of hard for a guy named Cadaverous. But
I mean, yeah.
But I think Sky Moore takes a huge step forward this year. They've got Isaiah Pacheco. They've got Jerick McKinnon, who was a big contributor for them out of the backfield and caught passes out of the backfield last year. I mean, I think that offense is still going to hum along like it never missed a fucking beat.
And I'm assuming you're picking them to win the division.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you as well.
Absolutely.
And as for the Broncos, I think that's going to be an absolute dumpster fire.
I think the Broncos finished second in the division.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I do not.
You know why I'm saying that? One reason and one reason only.
Sean
Payton.
Payton.
Sean Payton.
See, I
Yeah, you both.
no, I see it. Why this will be a dumpster fire is he wants to blow it up. I think he wants to blow the entire thing up.
Yep. I thought the same thing too.
He wants Russ, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see you cook anymore. Like I think he wants that team just implode.
Yeah.
So he can build it the way he wants to build it.
I mean, it's possible.
So that's why I think they're going to be.
I think he's too much of an egomaniac to let a bad season be on his watch.
But if he does it his way,
yeah.
that's why I think he'll do it because it's not. He's not looking at it like, oh, I'm a failure this year or I failed this year. He's doing, I did it for a reason.
Right.
See, because I thought one of the only reasons he took that job was because of Russell Wilson. There were so many other. There were better options. I thought.
I thought there were two, but
For a guy like that,
there were
if you
definitely better
wanted
options.
Championships, like you had other teams that were way more ready.
Well, I mean, that team was a dumpster fire.
So
Like,
it's
any-
I don't
any-
understand why he would come out of retirement to deal with that.
Because I think with that team, you still have parts on there that you can build with. It's just your quarterback fucking sucks.
I think one of the biggest keys is Javonte Williams coming back from that knee injury. If he can come back from that knee injury, they're going to have
The defense is not bad. It's not half
the
bad.
defense is not
No,
bad.
the defense is good.
Defense is not bad. I like I said, I really believe they're going to be the second team in that division. Wow. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and listen, that's
That's a stretch.
you know, I was the first one on that train last year saying Nathaniel Hackett needed to be fired. That team
Oh
was
yeah,
fucking awful.
you hopped right on that.
Dude, that was
bitch.
week. That was after week one.
Yeah, you hopped on that bitch
I,
pretty
wa-
quick.
I watched a couple of those calls in that fucking late night game, and I was like, this dude needs to go. This dude is fucking awful.
Well, you know who's not awful?
Jason Stilton from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So we've covered the AFC. Let's move on to the NFC. We'll kind of do it how we did this one. We'll do the NFC East. We'll start off with the NFC East. Cool with that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which should be a decent division. It's not going to be it's not going to be bad. I think it'll be a decent division. This one's easy for me. I still think Philadelphia's the class of that division.
Absolutely.
By far.
They're the class of the NFC.
It's hard. Them in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what it comes down to with those two teams, with the NFC anyway.
Jalen Carter wins Rookie of the Year.
Who's Jalen Carter?
Presumed to be Rookie of the Year.
The guy that the Lions should have drafted
Never heard of him. Next.
wins. I'm sorry, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
There you go. Yeah, so like this division, like I said, I think Philly is the class. I think this is my pick for MVP is Jalen Hurts.
I mean, that was our pick last year too. I mean,
Yeah.
and he was.
But
he
I think
was-
this
was
year
in
he
line
actually
for
does
it.
it.
Actually, not to get too far ahead of ourselves with the questions, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I believe he will be the MVP this year because I think he takes, despite the fact that he had a fucking amazing year last year, I think he takes an even bigger step this year.
Well, speaking of the Eagles, have you listened to the Kelsey's podcast?
No,
Listen to it. It's fucking awesome.
really?
It's great.
Well, I mean, those two guys are awesome.
Oh, it's their podcast is fantastic.
Okay,
It's so funny.
I'll have to listen to it.
It's so funny. So yeah, I'm taking Philly to win this division. Frankly, I'm picking Dallas to finish third. I don't
Wait,
believe.
who finished second? The Giants?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't believe in Dak. I'm sorry, I don't. And apparently neither does Jerry Jones.
Because he just traded for
Jared Jones.
Jared Jones just traded for Trey Lance.
Yes.
Another unproven player.
Very unproven.
Very unproven.
Very
Well, actually,
unproven.
no, I take it back. He's kind of proven the fact that he can't play football.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were kind of wrong on that.
Proven something.
Listen, man,
We were kind of wrong on that one, buddy.
we will say the things we were right about on the show. We'll also say the things we were wrong about.
This was not one of them.
You and I both loved Trey Lance coming out of
We did.
college.
We did.
And we actually loved that trade for them. We thought it was a great move because he was stepping into a team that was complete. All they needed was a quarterback who had the skills of what you want out of a quarterback in today's NFL.
Yep.
And Trey Lance, by all accounts, had that. Now, I'm not going to hate on Trey Lance because he's had a raw deal a little bit too. He got hurt. He didn't
COVID.
start for the first year. It was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Then he got hurt. You know, I'm not going to put all this on that kid either. He hasn't looked good now. Can he salvage something? Maybe. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I put it in our text the other day. To me, this is the biggest draft blunder by any team I've ever seen. They traded 3 first-round draft picks, a third-round draft
And
pick.
you saw what those picks turned out to be, right?
Yeah.
Damn,
So,
bro.
traded 3. Well, and one of those picks hasn't even happened yet.
And you saw the guys that went behind him, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, okay, you want we'll do that one.
Oh yeah.
Let me pull that up here.
They
real quick. I
literally
have
could have
it.
had Bosa and Parsons on the same fucking defense. But
Yeah,
they did.
so-
they did this stupid shit.
So the 10 players that went after they drafted Trey Lance. Kyle Pitts,
underused, but good.
underused, but great talent and wasn't all pro. Jamar Chase, enough said.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle, enough said.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell, enough said. J.C. Horn,
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain,
Good.
Pro Bowler.
Yep.
Devontae Smith,
Good.
Justin Fields,
Good.
another quarterback. Probably should have had him over Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons,
Yeah.
Very good.
future Hall of Famer. in
Like
my
seriously, can you imagine him and Bosa on that defense? Good luck.
opinion.
Good luck.
And then Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, but no,
Pro Bowler.
you guys wanted to be the smartest guy in the room and trade up for.
But again, I can't dog him for that because
No.
you and I both thought it was the right move at
we
the
did.
time.
We did.
But when it comes down to it, in hindsight, looking at this,
Yeah, it
I mean,
was-
those guys are supposed to know more than you and I.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is to me, and I love the Niners. I was a big fan of the Niners growing up. This is if it's not the worst, it is one of the worst moves
It's
in
not-
draft history.
It's
Top
not good.
3.
Along with the Ricky Williams to New Orleans one, where they
yeah.
gave up their entire fucking draft to draft
Yeah.
him.
It's
Like
not-
this
it's
is
not good.
this is on that level
Of just like worst trades?
of worst draft trades.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And he's on the verge of being one of the worst draft busts.
he is. But like we talked about this last show with him.
It's still early. He
It
can
is.
salvage it, right?
And
But
like I said, we talked about this last show about Trey Lance. It's like it's hard to just come to the NFL and learn on the fly, dude. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, and we'll get to the Packers shortly. And that's like with
Jordan Love.
which is why I like he sat for 3-4 years. Like I think he's actually gonna have a good year this year.
I do too. A precursor to later. I
Right.
will tell you, I think he's going to have a good year, better than most people think.
Yes, but like with Trey Lance, they kind of threw him in there. It's like here, go
Learn.
learn how to play NFL football just on the fly.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And now if he can sit behind Dak for a year or how many ever years Dak's there, which I could see Jerry just being like,
Jerry Jones.
after this season when they flame out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They'd be like, all right, dude, I'm done with you. And then Trey Lance he's going to go to Trey Lance. He's like, you're the guy now. Which I don't think is a great idea, but I think that's what's going to happen.
So, like with Trey Lance, the talent was there. It's a matter of getting the confidence back and getting him, again, speeding up that learning curve, getting him to learn the NFL game. It's faster than college. And he didn't have much college career.
And it's unfair to the player.
Exactly.
You literally put him in a position to fail.
Yeah. So, but with that, I just that's one of those fucking drafts moves that it's so glaringly bad at this point.
Now, yeah, looking back at like 2020, yes.
Eagles are going to win this fucking division.
Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? I mean, I think you're along the same lines, Eric.
Eagles.
Yep. I do want to say, I think watch out for the Redskins. I think they're going to be a lot better than you think, and Sam Howell. I think people are not paying enough attention to this kid. I don't think he's going to be as bad as people think.
No.
I don't. I think he's had a year to learn the system. I think he's going to be better than you think.
I hope they don't win the division simply because their name is fucking stupid. I fucking hate Commanders.
Well,
it's such a dumb name.
It is bad.
It's such a dumb name.
New ownership, though. You never know.
But
Change it up.
From what I hear, though, they are.
The thing about going back to it,
Yeah,
I've heard a lot about
yeah,
that.
there's a petition out there that the Native Americans have put out there.
They want it back.
I forgot what coalition it was, but it was some sort of a group
Yeah.
of Native Americans that put it out there
They
that
want
they
it
want the
back.
name changed back.
Yep. They should have just left it at football club and been done with it.
That's what I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like Commanders, it's a stupid name. But what are you gonna do? They made a lot of money off the jersey sales and whatnot, and this is what teams do. They switch names or switch jerseys, and they make a lot of money off of it.
Yep.
They'll go back to Redskins. I wouldn't doubt it in the least. Moving on to the NFC North. We'll cede the floor to Mr. Anderson.
And go ahead, Eric.
and go.
Oh, boy. The Lions should handily win the North. Should.
Will they? Are you gonna call it, right? Are you gonna call it?
Hey, bud, SOL's not dead. No, I'm not going to call that.
So who do you think wins this division then?
You know who would call it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Uncle Frank would totally call this 100%.
Yes.
He absolutely would.
Uncle Frank would definitely
He would
call
be
this.
he would be down here right now with a giant glass of fucking blue Kool-Aid right now.
Yes. And at this point in time, I couldn't even hate on him for it.
No, absolutely not.
Because at this point in
I
time,
can't do it.
Because at this point in time, if you're a Lions fan and you want to drink the Kool-Aid and eat the cornbred, how can I?
It's not that I don't want to.
You've been hurt too many times.
Exactly.
You've been see?
Yes.
What-
Yes.
Hold on, let's find the dial. Where on this dial did the Lions touch you?
Rochambeau, bro. All the wrong places, clearly.
yes, all the wrong places.
But yeah,
Right in the cojones.
I would love for that to be true, that the Lions would win the division, and I would like to pick them. But I cannot do it. I think Minnesota is going to get over their shortcomings of last year.
Really?
I do.
See, I think they're on the downfall. I think if anybody's going to be the team that wins this division besides Detroit, it's going to be either the Bears or Green Bay, because I think Green Bay is going to be sneaky good with Aaron Rodgers gone. I think Jordan Love is going to be very good this year.
I'm very curious to see what
he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers.
You've seen little glimpses in the preseason the last couple of years, and that's all you've seen of him.
He's not, and the glimpses you've
I'm
seen have
very
not been good.
curious.
Other than in this preseason, he actually has looked decent.
Yes.
He's got a go-to guy in Romeo Doubs. I think Doubs is going to have a great year this year. I don't think it's going to be the Watson show there. Watson, I think, is going to be the secondary guy to Doubs. But I think they're going to be sneaky good. And I think the Bears are going to be sneaky good. I think Justin Fields takes another step forward in that offense that's tailored around him. I think they're going to have a good running game behind him. He finally has a number one receiver. They have a good offensive line. Their defense is good enough. I think they're going to be sneaky good. I still think the Lions win this division, though. I hate saying this. I fucking
you
hate
do, too.
I hate
It
saying
feels
this.
so good hearing it on
Oh
you,
my
too.
God, I fucking hate saying this. The Lions will win this division.
So, Eric, you have, who'd you say, Minnesota? winning this
I
division?
sadly took Minnesota. I can't do it.
Joe, you
I
are
can't
taking
do
the
it yet.
Lions? You're taking the Leos?
I have to, man.
I am
I have to.
I am taking the Chicago Bears to win the division.
It's a house divided.
Wow.
Why not?
It's the
Why
first
not?
one.
Yeah. That's no the only other one everything's been chalk for us except the AFC East and the NFC North. But I that division is going to be very interesting.
Would I be surprised? So I don't think Detroit is that far and above.
I was
everyone
literally
else.
that's
They're
exactly
just
what I was
not.
just going to say.
They're just not.
Yeah.
Right, but to me, it's theirs to take.
It
right?
is. It's, like we said, it's gift wrap for them.
Their trajectory puts them to win this division. Now, would I be surprised if the Bears win it? No, because I've been on the board that the Bears were going to be better this year than people thought. I'm all about Justin Fields. I have been since he got drafted. Like that, they're gonna be good. They're not going to be great, but they're going to be good, and they're going to be good enough to spoil some things. So, would I be surprised if they won the division? No. Would I be surprised if Minnesota won the division? No, they won it last year. I wouldn't. Would I be surprised if Green Bay won the division? No, because really that team is the same team that was decent last year, other than Jordan Love. Jordan Love could come in there and play some good football. They've got a running game. Their defense is good enough. Anybody can win this division, truthfully. Detroit's not far and above
No, they're
everybody else. They're just the team that has the better trajectory at this point.
And like we talked about earlier with the Lions, it's how do they perform with all the hype, with all the expectations, with the target on their back.
With a target on their back, with all the weight on their shoulders.
Yep.
I think,
And
these
eventually they're gonna
four-
get-
like the first 4 to 6 games. Like you're either gonna know if like they continued the momentum from last season, or
So let me
it's
tell you
already-
this.
it's already SOL. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you
There's
this.
going to be no hit or miss on that one.
No, they're going to lose that first game. It's Kansas City. All right, I'm sorry. Lions fans can say they're going to win it. No, they're going to lose that game. The key is going to be, how do they look losing that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can still lose a football game and make progress. You can still lose a football game and still look good doing it and be a better team for it afterwards. Like, it's going to be how they lose that game, not whether they lose that game.
I mean, the Chiefs are laying 6.5 in that game. So, I mean, if the Lions can keep it within that, okay.
Yeah.
And don't give me the backdoor cover either. Like, you know what I'm saying?
agree with that.
Like,
I agree with
you're gonna
that
be getting
big
hammered
time.
by like 14 the whole game, and then like slide that touchdown in at the end
Right,
of the game.
as they're playing
Yeah.
prevent defense.
Yeah, like no, you got to be competitive in that game to for me to say, okay, yeah, we kind of figured they were gonna lose. You know, the Super Bowl champs, we got opening night, but you can't just like slide in with that backdoor cover. You know, you can't do that.
Right.
So they got to be competitive in that game. So, with that being said, moving on to the NFC South, which, okay. I think it's going to be another terrible division.
Yeah.
Terrible division.
It's not going to be good.
Why-
Listen, the Buccaneers have Baker Mayfield
Yes.
as their starter.
yes.
Listen, I'm a fan of the guy, but I mean, he is what he is at this point. He's not a franchise savior. Okay.
No.
The Saints have Derek Carr.
Mid.
The Panthers have
Yeah,
Bryce
mid.
Young,
Okay.
and the Falcons have Desmond Ritter.
No, I look at Bryce Young, and I'm just like, dude, this guy's gonna get killed in this league. I swear to God, he's so small.
He is small. I think he's going to do better than you think he will, though.
Well, of course, because again, this is the NFL. You can't touch quarterbacks, so
Right.
it's like okay, and it's really hard to be a bad quarterback in the NFL. It just is.
So I don't think he's going to be a bad quarterback. I don't necessarily think he's going to be as good as C.J. Stroud. But that division is just it's full of quarterbacks that have question marks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, it is.
Derek Carr coming from the Raiders, spending his whole career with the Raiders, coming to New Orleans. I think New Orleans runs away with this division, honestly.
Really?
I think their defense is going to be good enough. I think their offense is going to be good enough. The rest of that division sucks, bro.
I'm actually taking the Falcons in this division.
Oh, God.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Bold prediction. Falcons
That is bold.
take the NFC South.
That is bold.
Why not?
I don't see that happening. But hey, I mean, it's not a great division.
It's
but,
not.
But
I
to
figure
me,
why not? If
to me,
it's a
the
terrible
Saints,
division.
To me, the Saints are far and above the other teams in that division, and it's not like they're that great, but they're far and above the other ones in the division.
That's what I thought too.
Listen, I think Derek Carr and Olave are going to have a great year together because Derek Carr is the king of the long ball, and Olave got behind the defense last year, had more air yards and targets last year than any other player in the league. I think that hookup is going to be phenomenal this year. I think New Orleans wins that division with a good enough defense. And listen, again, I'll sneak in some fantasy football advice here for you guys. If you're having a draft, and I really don't want to tell this to you because we're having a draft on Thursday, but if you want to sneak in a defense, like you don't want to spend up for defenses, right? Let's just educate people out there right now, just in case you're playing fantasy football for the first time this year. You don't want to spend up for defenses. Your last 2 picks in the fucking draft should be spent for kicker and defense, and kicker shouldn't even be in the fucking.
I was gonna say, hopefully you're in a league where people have gotten to the
pick
point
them
where
up
kickers
after.
shouldn't even be a part of it.
Right. Sometimes I do that.
Sometimes you could do that with a defense too.
Sometimes I do that because sometimes I'll draft my players, and if it's far enough out in the season, listen, you could get an injury. You could decide a guy didn't win the starting job. I'll draft everybody except for kicker and defense, and then by the time the first week comes around where I got to start, I'll drop 2 guys and pick up a kicker and a defense off the fucking waiver wire.
Yeah.
That's how little they matter to me. But if you want to wait and take a defense, you don't want to take the early defense. You don't want to take San Francisco. You don't want to take the Jets, right? Wait. Take New Orleans. Their first 5 games are fucking cake. Their first 5 games are ridiculously easy against offenses that are not going to be very good.
So you guys are both taking New Orleans?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, back to the fantasy thing. Every fantasy football league, I'm sorry, should eliminate kickers.
Oh,
All of them.
I'm trying to do away with them every league.
Eliminate kickers. Period. Nobody likes fucking kickers. They
Liter-
serve no purpose in fantasy football.
Literally, it's called defense special teams, right?
Yes.
DST, defense and special teams. So special teams includes the fucking kicker. So just draft a defense and special teams, and the kicker's part of that.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep.
Do away with the kickers.
Combine the points. Done.
Fucking sucks.
It does suck. 100%. I'm with you. Because you know how much I love kickers, Joe.
I despise them.
Just a wee bit.
No, it's for the brand. Fuck your brand. Your brand is stupid.
Nobody likes your brand.
No, your brand is fucking dumb. So next up, we got the NFC West.
The West.
Can we just not? I'll say this right now. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to go winless.
Now they might. I think they might be trying to actually because they let the only experienced quarterback they had behind Kyler Murray, who is not going to be ready to start the season, they let him go.
Yeah, I saw that.
They let Colt McCoy go.
I saw that.
The only quarterback that had any experience.
And what's going to be funny is because they're going to try to tank for Caleb Williams.
Like, what the fuck?
They're going to try to tank for Caleb Williams, and if I'm Caleb Williams, I look at that situation and go,
No.
I'm going to go back to SC.
No, fam, I'm good.
Especially now with NIL. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to go.
Nope.
You're getting paid already. You don't have to fucking go.
You might be making more than you would make as a rookie,
Exactly. You're making that money.
especially if you're Caleb Williams.
And then you get there. You come in. You get your first year in the Big Ten. Like if I look at that situation, I'm like, Nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay in sunny Southern California.
and I'm gonna try and win the Big Ten.
Big man on campus. Can do my thing. All good. I don't want to deal with that shit. But yeah, I think the Arizona Cardinals are gonna go winless this year. I do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No?
Not at all. I don't think the team's very good, even with Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray's not very good when he's on the field, and he's not going to be on the field. So
Well,
you can't even be kind of good if you're not even on the field.
Like this
By the
division-
time he's ready to play,
Oh God,
Call of Duty's coming out.
that's true. Like I was listening to the radio today. They asked like what now? Like if you could trade Kyler Murray right now, what could you possibly get for him? Like nothing.
Nothing.
Nobody would trade for him right now.
You
not
couldn't
even
even.
a PS5.
You couldn't
Not
even.
even a PS5
You couldn't even.
or an early copy of Call of Duty. Fuck, man.
You couldn't even
No
get.
early release.
You couldn't even get what you got for Trey Lance,
No.
which was a 4th-round draft.
Right,
pick.
you wouldn't get anything for him right now because nobody wants him. Nobody wants his attitude. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Nobody
shit.
wants his attitude. Nobody wants to take on that contract.
No.
Nobody wants that.
Talk about one of the worst contracts in NFL history. That one.
It's turned out to be pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. But this division, though, it's a 2-horse race. It's Seattle and San Francisco.
I think it's a 1-horse race. I think it's San Francisco.
All right, fair enough.
Now Seattle will be closer to them than the other teams, but
Right.
I mean, to me, it's San Francisco or bust.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't think Seattle's
Even with Mr. Irrelevant, who I think takes a step
like
back
an
this
8
year
and a
and
10,
doesn't.
you know what
And
I mean?
that's the thing
it's close, but it's not there yet.
Right? No,
that's the thing with that team though that always
I don't think Seattle's going to be bad.
no. Seattle's, I think
But
Seattle's
they're-
going to make the playoffs.
They're gonna. I think they might, but I don't think they're on the level of San Francisco though.
No,
Just don't.
I don't either. But I think they're going to be better than they were last year, and I think they're going to make the playoffs this year as a wild card. But yeah, this is definitely San Francisco's division. But also with San Francisco, it's can Brock Purdy do it again for a full season?
That's
you
the
know?
key.
And then if he goes down, you got a guy who sees ghosts behind him, and Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
That's not exactly an ideal quarterback room.
No. No.
I mean, but yeah, you got McCaffrey. And
But
you got,
I mean,
you got weapons all over
Sam
the place. I get
Darnold
it.
did run circles around the Lions last year and actually spoiled their playoff hopes at one point in time. But I digress. I digress.
Oh no, you don't.
The bar is high.
I digress.
I digress. But yeah, this division, like I said, it comes down to two teams. But
I'm a
frankly,
prick.
if you really want to look at it, it does come down to San Francisco. And again, this is all predicated on health. And again, if everybody stays healthy, my question is, can Brock Purdy actually do it for a full season? And coming off that injury, that's not an easy injury to come back from.
No, it's not.
So
And I hate to doubt him.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to doubt him a little bit, right? I mean, he did it for half a season.
Right.
He's Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, are we really witnessing another Tom Brady here because the guy got drafted as the last player
literally
in the draft?
the last pick.
The last pick in the draft. It would actually be like if he went on to win a Super Bowl, it would be unfathomable that would happen.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You're using the big words today. Look, nice work, buddy.
Got my thesaurus on my desk at work.
Is that word of the day?
It was on my word of the day calendar.
Nice. I'm very proud of you, buddy. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know who else would be proud of you?
The Joe Wright Group?
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let me talk to you.
Nice. All right, you want to get to your little questions?
Well, it's already 8:12. Why don't we do some other topics, and we'll do the questions next week.
All right.
That way I can give you guys the questions, and you guys can really think about your answers. We can have some educated answers for next week for our audience for these questions.
Sounds like a plan.
It does sound like a plan.
Yeah.
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 Well,
I know you had a couple things that you wanted to get into. Other
yeah,
than
but
that,
a lot of
also-
it's all in these questions that you have here. Oh, the majority of them are in that.
Oh, okay.
So that was
right.
yeah.
My bad then.
Oh, it's not your fault.
All right. So what do we have next?
Well, we talked a little bit about Kelly Stafford before the show, and kind of
Okay.
She was doing her podcasts, and she was talking about how Matt Stafford, he's having issues connecting with his new teammates, especially the younger ones.
Yeah, so I believe
about that, right?
Yeah, I heard Matt Stafford's quote was, "I have trouble connecting with players, with people that I don't relate to, something along those lines." And he doesn't relate to the younger players coming in. He can't be a leader. He has trouble leading people he doesn't relate to.
Yeah, because they're always like buried in their phones and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
was the whole kind of thing behind
Yeah.
it. It was like,
Does anybody in this room find it shocking that Matt Stafford finds it hard to be a leader?
Well,
I mean,
I was quiet, but well,
I mean, he's never really been a leader, right? I mean,
No.
he's never really been a vocal leader or a leader in the locker room. He's been now, as far as toughness goes, as far as that goes, now he's been that.
now this is what I wanted to get into, because I heard a lot more about in this podcast how she was bitching and complaining how he still gets disrespected and how he's not tough and this and anything. I'm like, who the fuck says this? Nobody says this.
I disagree because I think
like,
I
dude,
know
nobody
shut
says that
up.
guy's not tough.
No,
Nobody does.
Everyone has said he's tough. Everyone has said he's tough as nails. I mean, he's proven that.
But
what
he's never been a real leader.
And that's
never
what he-
has been. Wasn't the whole time he was here either.
Nope. And that's what he's proved.
He needed the coach to lead. Hey, he said, follow me. You follow me.
Right.
That's his leading. He said, you come with me. I didn't say, you want to follow me into the promised land? Let's go. No, you didn't do any of that.
Nope.
You were handed something, and they told you, hey, don't fuck this up. Whoops. Again. Come on, dude.
It's just
Well,
it's
no,
just,
he's not.
well,
he's not.
That's the thing. Like when you have your podcast, and you're free to have your own thoughts and your own opinions on whatever it is you want.
Because we do.
Because we do, obviously, and her as well. But leave the locker room shit in the locker room. Like why? Like you're making your husband look like an idiot in front of his teammates.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, you just are.
She has no business talking about that kind of stuff. Did
Well,
he- well,
Like
so that's
see,
the,
I hate to say that too. I hate to be that dick to be like, she
But
shouldn't
it's-
say that.
but it's true, though.
It's like, did you guys converse before you said that shit though?
and
Probably
that's,
not.
Well, that's the other thing though. Is so this kind of leads into, Patrick Mahomes' wife and his brother. And so so many so I can't even remember who all, but there's plenty of players over the years in every sport who have had a family member who just couldn't keep themselves out of the media and from saying something when they have no business doing that. Stop. Just stop. If your husband, if your son, if your father, if your cousin, if your whoever, if they want to speak for themselves, they're in the national spotlight. They're in the spotlight, not you. Remove yourself from that. Don't do that. Stop. Let them say what they want to say. And if they don't want to say anything, then they don't fucking say anything.
Yep.
Like that's like pillow talk. That's something that should stay between you guys.
It stays in the house.
Yes. Like, and I'm all for like athletes' wives or spouses or husbands or female, whatever. I'm all for them supporting each other. Like 100%. You back your guy, you back your girl. Awesome. But there's some things just leave it alone.
You don't need to be speaking to the media and getting out there and talking a bunch of stuff. Like, you don't need to be doing that. You're making life worse on
Should be
your...
backing him up on like the things he's already saying, not
Or-
going
or
out
just-
there and say things he's not saying to the public.
Right, and there's a difference between backing them up and not bashing them, or going out there and just saying more things that just get more people disliking them or whatever. Like, you could, at a certain point in time, you're being detrimental to that.
Yeah.
Like, just stop.
Yeah. No, it was a snippet. It was about a minute long. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, are you serious with this right now? Like, come on. But that kind of leads me a little bit into I got to grind my gears. If you got the
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Hold on. Throw me for a little loop.
Yeah, I know.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Goat culture.
Goat culture?
Yes, like
Bah.
like greatest of all time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, Fucking done with it. Absolutely fucking done with it. Like, I was having this conversation last weekend because I heard I was at a bar and I was talking to a guy about we were talking about Jordan and Kobe, I think, and he wasn't comparing the two because again, if you think Kobe's the GOAT, then he's the GOAT. If you think Jordan's the GOAT, that's your GOAT. But there's no such thing as GOAT. There's not. It's whoever you think is the best, but that doesn't make him the GOAT. It just doesn't. Yeah. And this is what irritates me about GOAT culture is if you think X player is the best, then he's automatically the GOAT. No, he isn't.
Right.
He's not. And
A lot of it
if
comes
you
down to
try to tell him different, it's like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no.
A lot of it comes down to personal opinion.
It does.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more opinion than
because
anything
we talk
else.
about you can't compare eras. You can't.
No, and so in basketball, like if you want to argue that LeBron's the GOAT,
That's your
I mean
opinion.
that's your
great.
opinion. I can tell you your opinion's wrong, but I mean that's your opinion, right?
Right.
If you want to argue that Kobe's the GOAT,
Right.
Okay, you're less wrong than LeBron, but I still can tell you're wrong because I believe Michael Jordan's the GOAT. But
Right.
again,
But
the
just
key-
'cause
the
you
key-
say-
the key word there is I believe
Exactly.
Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
But just like exactly. So just because you say so and so is the GOAT
Doesn't make him the
it
GOAT.
true.
Right.
And the people come. That's how people come at it with this is because they say so and so is the GOAT.
Right.
Then it's true.
But a
like
lot of
that's all
that's-
there is to it.
Like that ends the conversation.
Like that's it. It's like
A lot of
no.
that conversation's all on stats, though. It's all on stats that.
But-
you know what? They used to keep 30 years ago, and they don't keep anymore, or stuff they keep now that they didn't keep 30 years ago. But he has this stat. Well, but he doesn't have this one. Oh, but he has this one. That guy doesn't have this one. It's like, all right, seriously. Like, what are we really
Well,
talking about?
And for all three of those guys that I just mentioned, we'll stick to basketball, right? For all three of those guys I just mentioned, you can find stats to back up your argument
Oh, absolutely, you can.
because Kobe was fucking amazing.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest of all time.
Yep.
Arguably, key word,
Yep.
right? You can find plenty of stats to back up why you're right on the fact he's the GOAT.
Oh, 100%.
And even with LeBron, even though I despise that argument, you can find stats to back up your argument.
Yes, you can.
And
I
also,
don't like it any more than you do.
and also when you put like when you put two people from the same sport and you say goats, plural.
Yeah.
I'm like that doesn't make any sense.
No.
There can only be one.
Greatest of all time, not
Yeah.
greatest of all times. You know,
There
that
is
doesn't
one
make it.
great test.
People
would
do
be-
that shit all the time, and it irritates the fuck out of me.
It would be the greatest
Yeah, right.
of all time.
Greatest of all time. And it's like no, it's one
He
singular.
has a lisp.
It'd be the Gussa Oat.
Right.
The Gussa Oat. The greatest of all time.
It's literally one. It's not multiple. It's one.
It's singular.
Now,
folks.
if you have like say your goats, you have like Gretzky and Messi standing next to each other, right? And you put it like a thing like above it says goats. I can live with that. That's fine because they play two different sports, and those are arguably the two best players that have ever played those sports. Fine, I can live with
Fair.
that. But
That's
when you
fair.
have like two players in the same sport next to each other and you say goats, like no, you're a fucking idiot. That doesn't make any sense.
Makes
Part of an all-star team.
Right? Yeah, like you're an idiot. That doesn't make any sense.
Next year.
That's
Next year.
like in the NBA, they're like LeBron and Michael goats. No, you're basically just naming two players out of a 5-player rotation right
Right.
now. Who's your other 3?
It doesn't make any sense to me. It irritates me. But I don't know. That's kind of my head on that. That's my That's my grind my gears on that one. So
There you go. I like it.
yeah, I think it's pretty solid.
All right. You got any grind my gears here?
I do not.
Nothing really grinds your gears. You're too easy going.
Sorry.
You're not as high strung as Chris and I are.
I'll get there eventually.
You're saying once you get older, once you get up there in age, you're gonna be more curmudgeon like we are.
Sounds like an assumption, sir.
Listen, I've been very irritated by things my entire life. Okay, it didn't just happen when I got old.
You?
Oh no, same. Totally same.
All right, are we ready to get into the picks?
Do you want to do a quick breakdown of the Big Ten college football?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Let's do
'cause
that.
That's kind of starting this weekend.
Yes, it is.
I think it's going to come down to one of three teams that wins the Big Ten. It's either going to be Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State. I think it's basically.
I think it's a
comes
two-person. I think it's
Yeah,
a two.
I think
a two.
it's
I think
two.
it's a two-school
I'll throw
race.
Penn State in there just because it's Penn State, even though I think James Franklin's a fucking idiot.
You're
But
generous.
fucking I hate that. That dude might be my most hated coach in sports. Is James Franklin. He's definitely in that conversation. But like I said, I think it comes down to those three teams. And Joe, to your point, probably the two teams, Michigan and Ohio State. You know, and that it's what I'm curious to see is what Michigan State does this year, because if Mel Tucker kind of nosedives like he did last year,
Oh, they'll be calling for his head,
and they should.
and I agree.
And they probably will be.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be as bad as last year. I think he'll probably make some progress. I like Mel Tucker. I don't like Michigan State, obviously, but I like Mel Tucker, and I said that from day one. I think it was a good hire for them. I think he's been a little bit, again, I said it earlier about somebody else, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I believe this year you're going to see a little bit more from him. I think you're going to see they're not going to finish high in the big. Like I'd say they'd probably be the 8th or 9th team in the big, right? But the key is what you see from them in that finish. So I mean, if they go out and lay dog eggs, let's just lay dog turds everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then yeah, they're going to be calling for his head, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, and you look at Ohio State; they're replacing C.J. Stroud this year, but they have they're going to have arguably the best wide receiver room possibly ever.
Their wide receiver room it's always fucking amazing.
It's stacked.
Though. They had Olave, they had Garrett Wilson. I mean, their wide receiver room was always stacked.
Yeah,
just like Bama's.
They just reload
every year.
They don't rebuild it; they just reload. And I'm curious to see Michigan's if Blake Corum can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, I think
he might challenge for the Heisman.
I was just going to say, no, frankly, I think he'll win the Heisman if he stays healthy.
He very well could. The funny thing is, they've actually got two players on that team who could challenge for the Heisman, and they're both the running backs.
Yeah. Oh, him and Donovan Edwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Michigan's defense is going to be really fucking good this year.
I think it's their. The Big Ten is theirs to lose,
yes,
right?
It is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and they've got Ohio State's number. I know a lot of people are picking Ohio State to win because of it's Ohio State, and it's only been 2 years where Michigan's beat them. And
yeah.
But I will tell you that as a guy who hates Jim Harbaugh with a passion, he's got them at a point where it's tough to pick against them to win the Big Ten. I mean, it really is. They're at the point right now where nationally they're being talked about as challenging for a national championship.
I've seen a lot of people pick them to win the whole thing.
So I mean that's where we're at here.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. This is what we've been waiting for. Like this, you've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yep.
It's time to win this fucking thing.
Now get the job done.
Like do it. It's time to win. Don't get there again and then get embarrassed like you did last year, or especially the year before. I think last year was more embarrassing just simply because of how that game went. Mm-hmm. Like you kind of figured the first year when they played Georgia they were going to get pasted, and they did. But this year they should have beat TCU, and they played scared. They flat out played scared, and they lost because of it. But when it comes down to it, I think you're going to see Michigan probably play Iowa or Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. I could see that happen. I could see Ohio State versus either one of those teams. That's who's coming out of the East. It's going to be one of those two teams. I can't wait until next year when we have USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington. It's going to be great.
I believe it's going to be Michigan, Iowa.
Okay.
I believe that's what the Big Ten title game is going to be. Okay. Michigan, Iowa.
Well, there you go. That's a solid Big Ten breakdown.
Like well, I mean, there's not much to.
No, there really isn't.
Listen, it's a dog shit division, right? I mean, it really is.
It's very top.
A conference, not division, but it's.
So when is that going to change?
Next year.
Next year.
It's next year.
Yep.
That it's just going to be the two best teams in the division are playing for everything.
Yeah, I think they're going to eliminate divisions.
I think they're eliminating divisions.
It's going to be Big Ten.
It's going to be the Big Ten Conference, I believe.
And the Big Ten are going to play for the championship.
The Big Ten with 18 teams,
should
16 teams. What do they got now?
I think it's 18.
Is it gonna be 18?
It's going to be stupid.
Just make 4 super conferences and be done with it. At this point,
we discussed this. How many years ago did we start discussing this?
Long time ago. When you have like Stanford's going to join the ACC, what the fuck are we doing here? That makes literally no sense.
We are moving toward the 4, not the 2.
Yeah,
See, I was thinking more the 2.
What, 2 super conferences?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that though.
I see that being more feasible than having 4, just because of the way that teams are moving.
Is it this
You're-
year or next
you're
year
not-
the playoff gets expanded?
This next year, not this year,
But the
it's
following
the following year.
Okay.
I believe
I think it is.
it's the following year, right?
I think so.
And I guess that would be a bigger reason to have 4 instead of 2.
With the 12-team playoff. I can't wait for that 12-team playoff.
Because I was going to say, I was
I've
looking
wanted
at
that for a
Big
while.
10 SEC, nothing else. There's just going to be a North and a South, basically, and that's going to be it.
Sadly, it's not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
2024.
Sadly, we've looked at that before. It was a different circumstance. But
Yeah.
All right, boys, want to do some picks?
You know what? Let's do some picks.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
There we go.
It's time!
I've missed doing picks.
I kind of have to.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
I've missed this time of year.
Yes, everything's
I
coming
got-
back. Everything's coming back.
I'm rejuvenated by football.
yes.
Until you get beat down by it again.
Just not the weather.
Well, maybe it won't be as bad this year. I've made some changes in my life for
Yes,
football season
you have.
this year.
You have.
So,
All right, so let's start it up. We'll start up with Florida taking on Utah. Utah's laying 6.5.
speaking of Florida,
Yeah.
sorry, not to get off the topic, but I'm going to because this is what happens on the show.
Florida man.
No, have you seen the Swamp Kings?
I have no desire to watch it. I read all about it, and I have no desire to watch it. None.
It's
They left out like everything.
dude. It's a huge dud.
Yeah.
There was no talk.
No.
Cam Newton was mentioned once.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez was mentioned once.
I heard it was basically an Urban Meyer puff piece.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I have no desire to
It
watch
was
it.
it was basically them standing there. It was everybody got together on a show to be like, Urban Meyer's great.
Yep.
This is great. Like that was all it was.
Everything I read about it, like reviews and people that watch it, that's
was-
that's literally what like verbatim. That's what they said. They're like, it's an Urban Meyer stroke off. Like,
Yep.
that's what it
It
is.
really
I'm like,
was.
No, I'm good. I have no desire to watch it. None.
I was so disappointed. And I kept waiting for them to get into some of the juicy stuff. And some stuff was gotten, but not much. Like basically it was a Urban Meyer puff piece.
Yep.
And it was I was so disappointed when I got to watch that.
that's
it
why
was such a waste of time.
Like when I saw the reviews on it, I saw a couple. I'm like, okay, it's only a couple. And then the more you read, they're like, this many people can't be wrong about this.
it was fucking awful.
That's why I'm just like, no, I'm good.
And on that note,
Yeah.
because of that, I'm going to take Utah.
All right, Eric, who you got?
Like Utah. Don't want to go against the Gators, but
All
have
right,
to.
we're chalk on that one, boys.
They're going to be
We're
rough
all,
this year.
We're all taking Utah.
All right.
Next up, we got North Carolina taking on South Carolina. UNC is laying 2.5.
Give me UNC.
Joe, I am with you on that one.
I think they're
Also
going to.
taking-
I think they're going to be a pretty good team this year. They've already showed signs of it. I think they're going to actually take a step forward
They have
this
good-
year
they
as
have good
well
quarterback,
in that
too.
program.
I'll take them boys in the SEC. South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like,
Chris-
wait, what?
Chris had a questionable look on his face.
He did.
Uh,
He's like, did he say SEC or SE?
I did. Well, either way, he's taking SC.
SC, there you go. Next up, we got Eastern Carolina taking on Michigan. Michigan's laying 35.5.
Oh, you didn't put Michigan in there.
It's down at the bottom. I typed it in twice.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
an idiot.
Ah,
Yeah, I typed it in twice.
The Harbaugh
okay.
absent game.
but
Yeah.
minus 35.5.
Minus 35.5.
That is a lot even.
I'm
Give-
gonna take Eastern Carolina.
I'm going to take East Carolina
I
as
was
well.
gonna
That's
say
a lot of fucking points.
That is. I'm going to go, across the board.
Next
By the
up-
way, can we just do away with week 0?
yes, I agree with you. I watched a little bit of that Notre Dame Navy game. That was like it. It's like the only game I watched.
Can we just do away with that? It's fucking brutal.
I was going to ask, that's not really week 1?
No.
then
No, it's
for
week
college?
0.
No, it was
Okay,
week
is.
0.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's
I was
Yeah.
reading that. I'm like, is that really a
This is week
thing?
1. This is week 1 coming up. Yeah.
yes. Next
Yeah.
up, we have Miami of Ohio taking on Miami of Florida, and Miami of Florida is laying 17.
Give me Miami of Florida.
Same.
What say you, Miami of Florida fan?
I'm I am also
Also known as the U.
the U. I am also going to roll with the Canes on this one, even though their starting quarterback is somewhat banged up. Apparently, Miami of Ohio's quarterback was talking shit in one of his press conferences. So, yeah, I don't think Miami.
That's not a good idea, son.
Yeah, I don't think the Canes are going to take too kindly to that. So I think Mario Cristobal is going to fucking run it up on him, and I hope he does. And the final game of the week, LSU laying 2.5, taking on Florida State.
Give me LSU. I think LSU is going to be a hell of a team this year.
My hatred for Brian Kelly precludes me from taking them, so I am rolling with Florida State, even though I fucking despise Florida State as well. But my hatred for Brian Kelly, he's right there with James Franklin.
I hate Brian Kelly too, but the sad thing is they're actually going to be pretty good this year, I believe.
I fucking despise Brian Kelly. I can't do it.
I get
Florida
it.
State.
Florida State? All right. That's it. Those are the picks.
Those are the picks. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what? Let me get a little plug in here.
Yeah, do that by all means.
We all know that planning an event such as, and I need to get the logo up there. We all know that planning an event such as a wedding, birthday party, graduation party, or any other event that you might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell of Bald Man Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
Love it.
Shots fired.
Love it.
Oh, that's great. Shots.
I think that's a great read.
I think I was too, man. Well
very
played.
Hey, I think we came up with something good there, buddy.
Nicely done. Nicely done. That's collaboration at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Nice. There you go.
All right. Anything else we want to get into this week before we get out of here for the week? And next week we're going to do the full NFL breakdown of not the conferences like we just did, not the divisions, but we're going to do a bunch of questions about the coming season, what we feel is going to happen. We're going to have the AFC winner, NFC winner, Super Bowl champ, our sleeper team, our breakout quarterback.
First coach to get fired.
First coach to get – I'll throw that one in
Throw
there.
that one in there.
I'll
First
throw that
coach
one
to
in
get
there.
fired.
Yes.
First coach to get fired. First quarterback to get benched.
Yes.
Tons of questions that we're going to go through for the NFL season.
Like
and
most absurd penalty that you're going to see this year.
it'll
It'll be pass interference for sure.
It'll be
How bad will it be?
It's definitely going to be roughing the passer.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be roughing the passer.
It's going to be roughing the passer because those are just absurd every time they get called.
Yes.
That was roughing the passer.
15 yards. Yes.
That was you can't do that, man. Can't do that.
Can I teabag him?
Did you just
Please? You're not going to penalize me. At least let me.
All right. On that note, we're going to get out of here for the week. Give us a like and a share and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com and, click on shop. We're going to put up some fantasy football stuff for this year. I'm going to start throwing up the preseason stuff this next week. We'll have weekly breakdowns on there. So, again, check out SOTDET.com. When you get there, maybe click on shop. Maybe buy some stuff. Support the show. We would love it. We would appreciate it.
The cold weather's coming. Buy a hoodie.
Buy a red hooded sweatshirt.
Buy a red hooded sweatshirt. There you go.
Yep. Eric, thanks for coming in this week.
Appreciate it, man.
Hopefully
Thank
you
you,
can make it back next week.
seeing you.
Absolutely.
For the preview show of
Yes, sir.
the NFL season.
be a
I
good
do
boy.
want to give a shout out to say something about a couple people who passed away this last week. Terry Funk, who was a Hall of Fame wrestler, passed away, and then also it was Bray Wyatt, who was also known as Wyndham Rotunda.
Yep.
He passed away at the age of 36. I gotta be honest with you, man. That was rough for me to watch, Chris. I don't know if you watched it. The SmackDown episode where it was basically just
I watched bits and
a
pieces.
tribute to both of them.
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of it. Even on Raw last night, they were kind of doing that same.
Yeah,
thing.
I saw they had a
Becky
little bit
Lynch
of-
broke down and cried after her match.
Yeah. It was a little rough to watch, and Bray Wyatt Wyndham was only 36 years old, and that's
Sad.
it's prayers for his family and his kids and all that, man. It's very sad. So, we'll try to give some love to some people that we followed and all that. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, we will be gone for the day, and we'll see you next week. And I just had a brain fart again.
What just happened there?
What is with me ending shows? I don't know how to end shows anymore. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No, God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No, God!
Bye, guys.
No.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I've ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.